Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chalk Talk. This is our win total prediction first look before the draft. So we will be doing an episode after as it gets closer to the season with our final predictions. Corey cannot join us today as he is sick with the flu and from a catfish sting bite, whatever you want to call it.
An actual catfish. He did technically
get
catfished,
yeah.
but not in the commonly used sense.
Literal catfished.
He literally got catfished.
Got catfish, so Corey will not be joining
Speared
us.
in the hand. He's down out with some poison bounce back, but
So they almost had to take his hand off.
yeah,
Amputate.
he's a true fisherman now.
It's wild.
Yeah, he'll have that story to tell when he comes back for the AFC episode, hopefully. But today we're going to go over the NFC win totals. Not as exciting as the AFC, but this is one where it's hard to take unders because there are a lot of them are so low already. But still some of the times it's hard to even take the over on some of these teams. But
I like that we're starting with the NFC because I think a lot of these are kind of easier to predict. I mean, the AFC is kind of going to be a toss-up between all those teams, but NFC feels a little bit more predictable. But
also those totals kind of reflect it. Like we got some really low numbers. Totals on a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
So it's about picking your spots on who you think which of these teams might be able to get over that win total. So we'll start out. We'll go with the NFC North, and we'll start with your Bears, Alex. We have
Nation. What do we got?
Yeah, based off of what's happened in the offseason so far, they have it sitting at 7. So we'll start with you, the Bears fan. Where do you think they're gonna finish, over or under this?
Man. My tone as a Bears fan just going into the season is like, if we get to 4 wins, I'll be shocked. 7 is. Oh,
you're a Justin Fields guy.
I am. This is a rebuild year. I mean, they don't have a first round pick until next year. So, I mean, honestly, the less games they win, probably the better. Like to see them get a lottery pick, top 10 guy next year and just kind of punt this season away. I think 7 wins is definitely too many still. Like, even if they are playing, this division is going to be bad. So they may sneak a couple out against like the Lions and maybe even get one on the Packers or Vikings. But, 7 definitely feels like too much. I'm going to go under here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think they're doing the right thing as a franchise, selling off what they can for the rebuild and like fully committing to that. Khalil Mack was injury ridden, probably not worth his price, but I mean, they didn't get all that much in return, but I like where their head's at. So for that reason, I don't think they're going to be charging for a playoff run.
Yeah.
I think they probably end with 6 wins. So I'm going to bet the under here.
I do like that the new front office is just saying like any dead weight, basically, like we'll get some sort of draft picks for.
Yeah.
We were too middle of the road, like for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And so you inevitably can't get these top tier guys. And so, winning 8 or 9 games and not making the playoffs, like how good is that for an organization? So
yeah,
I think they're going in the right direction, even though their wins probably won't be.
Yeah. You didn't seem very active in free agency for a reason, I think.
Yeah.
Just wasted money at this point. So
yeah, I'm on the under here. If you have the Justin Fields guy also going under, that should tell you something, because there's 0 chance I think I would do it. If this was 7.5, this would be one of my like favorite bets already of the offseason. At 7, it's a little more difficult, but I'm still leaning under. I think they go, about 5-12 or 6-11. They lost Allen Robinson. They lost Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Eddie Goldman. It's just, this is not their year. They have barely any draft capital.
Matt Nagy.
It's just no continuity with the coaching. This is a rebuild year. Like you want to lose and you want to get some picks, a good pick next year. So yeah, we'll keep that one simple. We have the Lions up next. Their win total is sitting at 6. What do you think here? We'll start with you, Nick.
I'm going to go with the over here. The Lions last year reminded me a lot of the 2017 Browns with Hugh Jackson. I think they had one win that year. They played it competitively in every game. They just, were a couple pieces away, showed some flashes of magic. Obviously, with Jared Goff at the helm, their playoff runs probably are not a good bet. But to get 6 wins, I kind of like it in this division. I think they could probably beat the Bears twice, Vikings once. There's 3 right there. And I don't know. They just got to find 4 more teams that are beatable. In the NFC, I think that's probably pretty likely. So I like the direction they're going. They got some good pieces. Young team. We'll see what they do in the draft. But I think they got 2 picks, right? So
yeah, they have
You got the number 2 overall.
they have the 2 overall, and they
Yeah.
have the 32nd pick. So,
yeah, so I think they'll get Aiden Hutchinson or Thibodeau,
someone like
one of
that.
those edge rushers.
I could see them getting
A quarterback.
Malik Willis. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
At
that
2?
at 2.
Malik
Yeah,
Willis.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
2.
That'd be very Lions of them, but geez, they
you
should
got to
probably just
go with the
safe
upside at
pick.
quarterback if you're gonna do it, in my opinion.
They
Yeah,
got to get
with
Jared
you there.
Goff off their books, dude.
Yeah.
You're stuck paying him so much money.
yeah,
The
but like, how are
Lions
they
is-
going to get rid of that contract?
Well, I don't know. Eventually, just like they're right now, they just need to be searching for their next quarterback. It's not really about like the rebuild always starts with the quarterback, and then Goff's not the answer. Like they gotta find
Yeah.
someone, and they just
I
gotta
just
start
think at
taking
number 2, you
stabs.
get a generational talent. I think in Aiden Hutchinson
I think Aiden Hutchinson's gone at number 1 though.
I did too.
could be, but
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
that boy from Oregon too. So
Honestly, this is when you just should probably be trading back, well, and maybe go for a better quarterback pick next year. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they need to get their quarterback before they start building around that. Because
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll do a draft episode though, but I think their pick at 2 definitely affects this win total. So if you feel like they're gonna go with like Malik Willis or another quarterback here, I kind of like the over in this
But
division.
do you think that quarterback they pick will start, or do you think they sit behind Goff for a year?
I don't think a whole year. I don't think Goff's gonna put up enough numbers or wins to.
I think he's going to be like the next Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
he'll be
fine
the start
backup.
name starter. We're riding with our guy, and then
Yeah.
like 4 games in, all right, let's give this rookie a chance. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think that happens more often than not with these rookie QBs. So
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I like the over here at 6. Again, it's that half number. That 6.5 doesn't feel great, but
Yeah.
6 feels like it could definitely at least push. So I think the Lions are trending in the right direction. Obviously, they got a early pick in the draft, and that's going to help them probably one way or the other, no matter who they take. So I'll go over here.
I'm at a slight lean to the under. This is a no bet for me, as that 6 is, again, it's where you get hard. It's a low win total. I just can't see them getting to that 7 win mark though. So I think this is like, I really do think they finish right at like 6 wins in my personal opinion. So it's just a no bet for me, but I would lean under, as I still think they're a very bad team. So next we have what?
So you're not wrong. They're not a good
Yeah.
team.
Next, we have the Vikings. They're sitting at 9, right?
Yep.
9.
Yeah, they're sitting at 9. You guys start off the first 2, I guess. I'll start off with this one. I actually kind of like the over for the Vikings. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy, but with a 17 game season, they usually always finish like right around here too. And, they have the 12th overall pick. They added Zadarius Smith, like Harrison Phillips, Jordan Hicks. Like they got some pieces, and they didn't let a whole lot of, I think, what was it? They got rid of Sheldon Richardson.
Man.
and like Anthony Barr.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I
Players,
think
but
their
guys that
additions
are,
outweighed their departures. So
yeah.
I lean over. This is still not a bet for me, but if I were to bet one way, it would definitely be. I think at worst the Vikings finish with like around 9 wins. So
I like
I'm a big Justin Jefferson guy. I think
Yeah.
they're pretty well run team. They got rid of Zimmer too.
Yeah, I think the Vikings probably, I mean, it's probably an easy argument to make given what else happened in the division, but the Vikings definitely had the best offseason, basically doing nothing out of this division. I mean, unless you want to argue that like the Bears getting rid of everyone for draft picks or guys for draft picks is the best move, but in terms of teams that are actually competing, all of these teams in this division either got worse or were bad to begin with. And so I think the Vikings at 9, I think I love the over here. I mean, obviously you got a first year coach, so new offense getting in there with, Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and Thielen and these guys. But I think that the Vikings have been, 10-7. Just think about that. The 17-game season like changes a whole lot,
Remember how
even though
many
it's one game.
score games that were into
Yeah.
last year? Like
Yeah.
they were that team that was just always in like every game. And I think they finished 8-9, but I'm looking here, they were 4-7 in 1-score games. And things like that can often regress to the mean. But yeah, they were always playing in close games.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Bears and the Lions both twice and then split with the Packers. That would not surprise me whatsoever. Yeah. And that's 5 right there. So I think I like the over a lot on 9 here.
Yep, I'm also swinging with the over. I think they got some solid pieces to their defense. But I think the draft, they could go out and get a pretty good playmaker if they wanted to. They could go get one of those top wide receivers and pair him with Jefferson and kind of a fading Thielen. And I think that's one of the best. I mean, they got some of the best playmakers in the NFL with Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, strengthening up that defense a little bit. Maybe they go with a cornerback, kind of, continue on that defensive trend. And they're in a pretty good spot. Weak division. I don't think the Packers, my favorite bet's going to be the under there. We'll get to that in a second, but I think they could win this division.
The under?
No, I'm going with the overs for the Vikings. Packers,
okay.
sneak peek, going with the under.
Okay. But so we're all on board with the Vikings on the over there. Yeah.
Community decision. Well,
all right, cool. Glad we all agree on that one. Next, final team in the division, we got the Green Bay Packers. Their line is sitting at 11 right now with slight juice to the over. What do you, Nick? You're the one that already you started out here, so go for it.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm so upset because my whole career I've been begging for a wide receiver too, and his wide receiver 1 just left. Like, I don't know who is he going to throw the ball to? Like Aaron Jones 50 times a game? That's going to be like very predictable.
There's talks of them moving up to get a guy in the draft, but
still, I don't know if you could replace Devontae Adams in that production that they brought, the dynamic.
No,
you know how good Rodgers has been
solely based off his deep threat ability. Like, he opened things up for Aaron Jones. I think he's going to have a lot more time facing stacked boxes now that you don't have Devontae to worry about going over top. So I think their offense gets a lot more flat. Their defense got worse. They lost to Zadarius Smith. And
do you remember all those times though? The Packers would be playing a game and it would be Adams is out due to whatever issue. And everyone was like, "Oh, you got to get on the other team because he doesn't have Adams."
Rodgers is that good. That's why the
7-0. I think I believe he's a 7-0 without Adams.
But I just don't know that that's sustainable. I don't think that they could do that for a whole year.
Yeah. I lean towards the under here too. Packers have won 13 games in their last 3 seasons, so obviously have hit this over. But I mean, how many wins do you think Devontae accounts for? A guy that's going for, high teens touchdowns and obviously 1,000 yards plus
I'd
all
say
three of
one
those
game.
years. One?
I think
You
just
think
from
just
a
one?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
just
I
from
think.
a
Like
strategy
Devonta
and
Adams being out is like a line movement. I don't think someone like him is worth more than like a game.
So do you think the over here?
It's not a this none of the teams in the NFC North are a bet for me, but I was under on the Lions and the Bears, but with just like the Vikings, I have a slight lean to the over with the Packers. I think at worst it's like a push. The NFC is just I know
Who
it's not
else?
like they play every NFC team, but they
Yeah.
play like here, let me look at their they play the Giants, the Jets, the Bears and the Lions twice, Vikings twice. They play Washington away, Philly away.
so they
Like
got the NFC South.
yeah, and then they're some of their harder. They have the Rams, the Titans, and the Bucks. But I'm
What
not a
AFC division are they playing?
who and where.
What AFC division are they playing?
They play. Well,
AFC North.
they play the Jets, the Bills, and the
North.
AFC North.
Patriots.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots would knock them off, honestly.
So I mean, I just and
11's gonna be close too.
Yeah,
Like man,
they do have some easy wins with like the Jets and
the
Bears,
Jets,
Lions,
and the
but
Bears and the Lions twice, and the Giants and the even the Eagles and the Washington. Like
so
they just don't have a too tough of a schedule. They did lose not only Adams, their biggest other loss, I think, is Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, it's huge.
But they do have 2 first-round picks.
True. Do it. Yeah. Not to get too much into a draft show because that's for a couple
Well,
of days.
that's just like part of my reasoning. Like,
Yeah.
draft
No,
bet.
totally.
like
Totally.
they're gonna have to crush it. They're gonna need to go 2 for 2.
So let's say
Well, they're getting a receiver. You can count on that.
Yeah, 100%. Let's say they go, okay, so let's just hypothesize this. They beat the Bears twice, they beat the Lions twice, they split with the Vikings. That's 5 right there. They're going to beat the Jets. They're going to beat the Giants.
It's 7,
They're going to beat the Commanders.
8.
They're
I think they beat
probably,
the
I wouldn't,
Eagles.
I think they're going to beat the Eagles. And then,
That's
so
9.
they need to pick up 2 more between the Cowboys, Rams, Patriots, Titans, Bills,
Bucks and
Dolphins, Bucks. I think they can beat the Dolphins. I think they
Bucks.
can beat the Bucks. I think they're going to have a hard time with the rest.
Yeah, that gets you right around 11. And then I'm not going to ever bet against Rodgers for the other ones that he still might.
That's
No.
true.
That's just where I come up. I see 11 with the push, but the upside on the over rather than him
Especially
finishing.
if there's some juice there right now.
Yeah. Well, I think you would have to. Well, you guys, if you like the under, it's better for you because like the over is like minus 120 or something. So the under is like plus money.
Gotcha.
So all right, so that wraps up the NFC North. Next we'll go into the NFC East. We'll start out. We got the Cowboys. We'll start kind of at the top ish. They're sitting at 10.5. Alex, we'll start with you.
The over. This division is still maybe, other than the NFC North, the worst division in football. Like, assuming Dak Prescott's ankle doesn't snap in half again, they're gonna win 11 games. I would. This is one I would definitely bet. This isn't like a lean for me. I don't think the loss of Amari Cooper is all that bad
They
for
lost
them.
a decent amount though.
Who else are we talking?
So they lost Amari,
Yeah.
Cedric Wilson, which isn't that big, but then they lost their Lyle Collins,
Yep, that's big.
Connor Williams, which that was their guard, and then they lost linebacker Keanu Neal and Randy Gregory.
Yeah, the
And
Randy
they didn't
Gregory's a
add
big
Gregory
one.
had a good breakout year too.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, so that they're a tough team for me.
I just look across the rest of the division. Like, it's kind of like the Packers, right? Like, it's like, okay, they're probably going to win at least 5. Definitely for at least 5 in the division. I think they swept it last year. I think they were 6-0. And I think I think they're going to do what the Cowboys do, and that's kill the regular season and then get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this one's tough for me. This again, I have none of these teams we talked about yet as a bet for me. I'm very particular about which ones I'll actually bet. It's like I don't know what to do here, but I think I have to lean over as well. I've just it seems like I always go back to the Cowboys. They always still have a pretty solid team. You know, as long as Tyron Smith and like Zach Martin can stay healthy, their offensive line is still going to be pretty solid. And I still like Dak Prescott a lot. So, and there's some rumors they might be getting Akeem, or did Akeem Hicks already sign somewhere?
No, I don't think so yet.
No.
Yeah, I saw some stuff about him going there. I'm gonna lean. They don't have that tough of a schedule either, even outside of their division. They play like the Texans. They play the Bears, Detroit, Jacksonville. Like those are teams outside of their already bad division. So I think they have a pretty easy schedule as well. So that's where I'm gonna lean over here. But they did lose a lot of good guys. Like I loved Amari Cooper.
Yeah, they definitely did. But I think at the same time, they've also done a great job drafting and bringing in some good young talent. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs. Those are all guys I expect to step up and really start to play that superstar level of football. They're kind of on the cusp of it, obviously having some great years under their belt now. But I like the over here. Just, I think they're by far still a better team, even with those losses. I like Dak Prescott out of any of the other quarterbacks in that division by far. I think another year of Zeke regression and Tony Pollard stepping up and being the true workhorse there. So I expect that to continue. I think they probably end with 11 wins. So I do like the over here.
Yep, that's probably it's kind of like 10 or 11 wins is where I think they finish. That's why it's real tough.
Yep.
All right, next we got the Giants sitting at 7. I believe it might have started at 7.5, but yeah, it's down to 7 now.
Yeah, whoever built that line needs to just get fired because the Giants are terrible and they got no better.
What is?
I don't care how many picks they have.
They're counting for Dable to double their wins.
No chance.
How many did they win last year?
4 games.
Yeah. I mean, that team they need a new trainer.
They do have the 5th and the 7th overall pick.
True.
What was the first one you said there?
The 5th and the 7th.
5th and 7th.
So they're going to be able to get some like studs on defense. Or
they're going to need to go get a left tackle.
Yeah, can they score points?
Saquon, like
they didn't score points last year.
Is he going to pull again? They have
they
no
just
receivers.
Didn't score points. I don't care how good the defense is. Like
I'm a little bit. I'm a sucker a little bit. I don't think he's necessarily like good, but I do not think Daniel Jones is as bad as most people do.
I think he's pretty formidable. I think he's a formidable starter.
And that's why I lean over on this number at 7. I just think they're a candidate to have a bounce back seed. They're like one of the teams that every year you're going to have teams that kind of finish towards the bottom, and some teams will stay there and about half of them are going to take a leap forward. I do think the Giants adding Dable is pretty big. I mean, what they had before with Judge and I can't even think of the other trash dude's name.
Freddie Kitchens. He was
it was Judge and
the guy for the Cowboys. What's his face?
I don't know how I'm blanking on his name right now. But I'm on the over. They didn't add a whole lot of people like in free agency or anything like that. But I think with having the 5th and the 7th pick, that new offense with Dable, I think he's going to be able to utilize Daniel Jones a lot better. So this is one that I'm actually thinking about betting. This is the first one out of all the teams we mentioned that I actually am considering taking the over at 7. But yeah, I think they'll finish at minimum with 7 wins, but we'll see.
They need like 4 offensive linemen though. That's the only problem.
I mean, yeah, though I think they'll address their O-line and then a key defensive position in their first 2 picks would be my guess. And then their second pick, I think their second round pick, they'll go more for also
They
bolstering
lost
the
Jabril
offensive line.
Peppers, so good playmaker in
So you're both on the under because I know
Yep.
you are, Nick.
Yeah,
because you just
under 7. Yeah.
okay. All right, next we got the Eagles sitting at 8.5. I'll go ahead and start with this one. I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy by any means, but they have more draft capital, and I know they just trade with the Saints, but they still have tons of draft capital. And they have like the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the over here at 8.5.
Yep. I love the over as well. Go ahead.
Their schedule is so easy. I mean, look, the teams you got their own division, which you've already established, terrible. Besides like the Cowboys. Well, I guess I'm a little higher on the Giants, but they can split with the Giants at least. Then they have Chicago, Detroit, Houston,
Jaguars,
Pittsburgh,
the Jags.
Yeah, I mean they have one of the easiest schedules in the league.
Yeah,
I think Hurts is good. I mean, he's gotten marginally better every year, which is, I guess, promising. But I think he could, at a ceiling, be just like a good, solid quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar talent, but I don't know. You got Devonta Smith out there, Dallas Goedert. I think they can make some noise. I like the over.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jalen Hurts might be getting an unfair bag here. I think that the Eagles are kind of positioning themselves to draft another quarterback in next year's draft.
As they should.
Yeah.
That's fine. But keep building the team this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I mean they still like those picks aren't conditional based on their record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. And it, a lot of this isn't known or said to be a very strong QB draft class. So it's they can equally just bolster up the team and then go for a quarterback next year if Hurts is not the answer. So
9 and 8 would not be surprising.
That's kind of right where I think they finished. Not a bet for me, but I'd still lean over. The last team in the division, we got the Washington Commanders.
Who's their quarterback before we even dive in?
Carl Wentz.
Yeah.
Ever heard of him?
Wentz. Oh, God, the trade. That's right.
Yeah.
Give me the under.
His name is under.
Immediate under.
That's all I'm going to say on that one.
I actually think the Commanders could be sneaky this season. Last year they had some hype going into the regular season, and then that defense kind of was getting injured left and right. Obviously Heineke is not a guy. I don't think Carson Wentz is either, but I think he's better than Heineke, and if they can stay healthy, I actually kind of like the over here.
I love Scary Terry, but
they're talking about maybe
on the worst team ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about the numbers he's put up with who's been throwing.
Nobody's.
Yeah.
Green Bay should trade for him. That's what they need to do to revive that season.
Trade that draft pick.
Yeah.
Well, I can't be on the over for all 4 teams in this division, and this is where that ends. It's definitely the under with the Commanders for me. Not a Wentz guy. And they didn't gain really any. The only person they gained is pretty much Carson Wentz, and they lost Landon Collins. They've lost multiple defensive tackles. They lost their guard, Brandon Scherf. Like it's not going to be a good year for the Washington Commanders. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm on the under here. Not a bet for me, but
new name, same bad team.
What?
New name, same bad team.
Yeah. The name didn't do anything for him.
No.
Okay. Now we're moving into my Saints division. We got the NFC South. We'll start at the bottom. So we'll start with the Falcons.
That's where they're going to be, right at the bottom.
That is exactly where they're
They'll
going to
probably
be.
get the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah, they're definitely a candidate. I can't really think of many. They might be. Yeah, they might be just be the worst team in the league. Yeah, I'd say they are.
Yep.
I can't think of anyone worse.
They're
So
my favorite worst team.
yeah, they're going to be terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. It looks like it opened around 5.5, but it is down to about 5. And man, I'm still leaning under here. I mean, they lost their quarterback, Ridley, Russell Gage. I mean, I couldn't even it's like Zach Amias is like their lead, is their wide receiver 1. I couldn't even tell you the names of the other people on their team, on their offense.
They have like 2 really good players in AJ Terrell and Kyle Pitts and like Grady Jarrett, maybe.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is going to be just forced fed. It sucks because I think Kyle Pitts, 1, is the best tight end in the league, my personal opinion. But teams are just going to focus on that guy so much. And just
he's going to get double coverage every game.
Yeah. Oh, it feels, but he's still going to get peppered. Mariota is going to absolutely pepper him.
They're going to find ways to get him involved, but it's it's going to be an ugly season for the Falcons.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate to see a Mariota comeback season though.
Like I could see that team winning literally 2 games. Like one or 2
be surprised.
3. There's no way they're getting to 6. Man, if I wish it was at 5.5 still, this would have been one of my favorite bets. Like even at that low number, I mean, they're going to be bad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Under all the way.
Okay. Next, we have the Panthers, who are sitting at 6.
Great football team, terrible quarterback. Still have a terrible quarterback.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think their team is great outside of they lost Gilmore, Bouye, Hassan Reddick? Like
Reddick, I think is a loss, but Stephon Gilmore to me is like 33 years old.
Losing him doesn't help the team. I guess I don't, or I still think Bouye and Gilmore were probably better than whoever's replacing him.
Who they got? They got Jace Horn or
Jace.
One of those good rookies from Caleb Farley, is it?
Yeah, we'll see how
one of those 2 guys is over there. So expect them to step up a little bit, maybe. But I mean, you got a really good offense.
They did have they had some additions though. They got Littleton and they got some pieces, but on defense,
I like their defense a lot. I think they have a good, strong defense. Their quarterback's just their kryptonite.
So you think under 6?
Yeah, I think it's still under 6 till you fix the QB. McCaffrey's not getting better. Wouldn't be surprised if he just played another 4 or 5 games and was out for the year again.
They need to trade him.
They do.
But like, who's going to take on that contract?
Yeah, no one wants it. It's why you never pay running backs. Okay. Sorry, I was about to go off.
You should just kind of sail into the sunset at this point.
Yeah, under here. I think they're going to get Kenny Pickett in the draft, and I don't see him winning 6 games in his first season.
I don't think the over. I don't think
Kenny
Pickett would start. I think Darnold's still going to. I think these quarterbacks, they're a little under. Like they still need to be developed a little bit more. I mean, Pickett's probably the most NFL ready guy, but I think some of these guys are still going to still sit for a year behind whoever.
I don't know about a whole year, like
or a majority of the year.
Yeah, I just saw the heat that like Andy Dalton and the Bears got last year when Justin Fields clearly wasn't ready to start, but like the fans just will not. I don't think like if you draft a guy top 10, first round, and you don't have a quarterback to begin with, right? Like the 49ers are different because Jimmy G's actually fairly formidable at quarterback. Like obviously not the guy or one of the guys in the league, but good enough to go to
any day.
Yeah. But like, I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I feel like 4 games at this point. Like if you're 2-2 or worse after 4, and you drafted a guy in the first round, and you're probably a coach that's on the hot seat in Matt Rule, like you're gonna play whoever you draft, whether they're
Yeah.
ready or not.
So you might see like half a season, but either way, I don't see them going over this number.
No, agreed.
All right. We'll save the best for last. So we have the Bucks next, sitting at 11 and a half. My gosh. What are the line makers doing?
They love Tom Brady. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, and
it's
that's just
also the
another
division too.
it's just another reason. Like, you books are already going to inflate things because everyone loves betting Brady, so this is inflated. Like,
It's like betting an under in the Super Bowl or something like that. Like
the under
everyone's hopping on the over.
This is an under. I don't know what else. This is a bet too. This isn't just lean. Like, this is you bet this.
Let's see. Okay, so they've got a tough schedule too. All right, so here you go: Rams, Bengals, Packers.
0-3.
Exactly. Chiefs, Seahawks, Ravens.
So 1-6 or 1-5.
You're down on the Bucks more than me. Okay.
Panthers, Saints, Falcons.
Oh.
They'll probably get 4 to 5 wins in the division.
Yeah, they're probably like a 9 or 10.
But they're out of division games.
9.
Their out of division games are hard, man. Rams, Bengals, Packers, Chiefs, Cardinals, 49ers, Browns, Cowboys. Like, that's not
tough.
easy. That's to get 12 wins if you get 4 or 5 in the division.
And Brady's he's not getting better. It's like, I don't get people, Brady's the GOAT, Brady's this, Brady's that. Great. He's put up some numbers in recent years. He has a Super Bowl to show for it a few years ago, but he's not getting better. Like, age is still a thing. And, they lost. Well, Gronk hasn't
Antonio Brown, biggest loss of them all.
But then they lost Alex Kappa. Like, they lost
Browman.
people on their offensive line. They lost Jason Pierre-Paul, Ndeka Masu, Jordan Whitehead. Like, they've lost some guys, and they added Russell Gage. And I guess Logan Ryan was a good replacement.
Oh, thank God Russell Gage is here.
I mean, he's their best. I mean, their wide receiver 3 is, better than whoever they had before. But
yeah,
still,
he's not better than AB. No way.
PB, how many points against the spread is Russell Gage worth?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
How's that moving the line, PB?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just summing it up. But it's the under. Like, they're not winning 12 games.
That's too many.
I'm sorry.
I'm still fully convinced that Tom's going down to Miami.
You think still?
I do, because I think he wouldn't come back if, he found a middle ground. He could stay in his hometown with his family.
Is that why Gronk hasn't signed? He's telling Gronk, like, just wait, just wait.
Yeah.
I think
that's exactly right.
Come up with something.
Hill trade, like, everyone's like, hey, he kind of sold out for like a 29-year-old receiver, like, kind of weird. Not weird when you're getting Tom Brady. So, like, obviously something's brewing. They already cut their coach. That was like a strange situation. They're bringing in the Tom Brady regime, and it's all set up to be perfect. So,
Nick, you should throw that down payment on the under Bucks 11.5 if you're that convinced of that, because whoever's replacing Brady, if we're all convinced that Brady's not getting to 12 wins, whoever's replacing him is not getting to 12 wins either.
Well, I think this is where Baker Mayfield lands.
Really?
So,
you think Baker Mayfield goes to the Bucks? Because that is music to my ears.
Yeah, I think that's my. If I had to predict it and put money on it, I would say Tom's going to Miami. It's a little bit more sunny down there, and Baker's going to go there because they're going to have no other options last minute. I think they'll get past the draft before Brady does this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I'm shocked.
And they don't know they haven't been scouting, something like that.
So I'm shocked where all that just shows like another one where I'm surprised that we're all on the same side here, and thought for sure
they got worse. Like they were barely clawing those wins out.
I don't get it. And I'm pretty sure they had the same exact over under last year when they definitely had at least a better team. And now Brady's a year older. Like bet the under. Bet the under on this. and collect in months from now, next year.
Yep.
All right. So the best for last, as I said, you have the Saints sitting at 8 wins. I'm a Saints fan. I get it. I understand that even saying that, people are like, well, yeah, you're a Saints fan. You're just going to take the over. And this line doesn't make any sense to me. The Saints, Winston was 5-2 until before his injury, and he didn't have Michael Thomas. You know, I know Sean Payton left. I get it. And that's our biggest loss of the year. But Dennis Allen has played with Payton for a long time, 15 years. And he knows how Sean Payton ran the offense.
But he's like his own guy. So you like
sorry,
look at all the
the
Belichick
offensive
disciples,
coordinator has
like-
been with him for 15 years. Dennis Allen was a great defensive. I mixed that up. Dennis Allen was a great defensive coordinator, now the head coach. The offensive coordinator's been with him for a long time. He knows how he runs the offense. And Winston now gets Michael Thomas back. You know, we now have 2 picks in the first round. Really hope we don't use that on a quarterback. We should be getting another receiver, I'd guess, another player on defense. I just don't understand this number. Like, that means to bet you think they go 7-10? Like, there's no chance this team goes 7-10.
I don't think we know what the coach has, and I think a lot of the success of the Saints can be contributed to Sean Payton. I think he was one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. Maybe not a Belichick level, but he was pretty dang close. So that's a big loss. And, you know, for people who don't pay attention as closely as you to the Saints, you take a look at their incoming and outgoing players. You see they lost by Madden's ranking, their best player.
You're going off of Madden ranking?
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'll
Their
tell you,
highest rated
they
player
lost Armstead
is now off the team. Their left tackle. We know that he is a fine backup behind him and everything, but they lose a big left tackle. You know, maybe Jameis Winston in the new system. It's a question mark, no doubt about it. We don't know if this new coach is any good. He could turn out like a Joe Judge, Matt Rule type of guy, and not have much success. It's to be determined. So I think you got to lower the line a little bit because of that.
So you're saying you're taking the under, is what you're saying?
I wouldn't bet this one. There's too many question marks. I don't know. I think Kamara is also a big question mark for me. Like,
which way do you lean though?
If Kamara's out, I go the under.
Right now, the line is the way it is with the unknowns. So just like I don't have the knowns with Kamara, with what's known by everyone, are you leaning at 8 wins? Are you leaning under or over?
I don't know. I think they do. I think they could end around 7 or 8. So
you lean the under if you don't think they can win more than 8.
I mean, I think they can. They're in a terrible division. They only have to beat 4 more teams.
You're just dancing around something because you don't want to come back. You just say under.
So I'll take the under if I have to pick a side, even though you've been going neutral all day, and then you make me pick a side.
I've been picking sides. I just say don't bet it. I pick a side on every one.
That's what I
said. You just said don't bet it, but you're like, I don't know. They could do this. I picked a side.
Has there been any updates on Kamara though?
No.
Have we heard anything?
He's gonna probably play, or a very small suspension is my guess.
Yeah, a couple games,
which doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think they'll actually draft a QB personally, but
okay.
No love for Jameis, 1 of 1. 8 definitely feels like the right number. I with this division, I'll go the over. I don't love it, but 8 would not surprise me in 8 and 9 season for the Saints.
8's not that hard to get to in the NFC,
especially in that division. I mean, any of these divisions, they're all. I mean, other than the West, obviously. But
if we really think the Falcons are that bad, guaranteed 2 wins right there. Panthers, so they only need to beat 5 more teams.
Yeah.
6 more teams.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Your Browns are one of them, Nick.
Not with Deshaun Watson, no chance.
Your Browns are one of them.
Side note: is that in Cleveland or is that?
Yeah, it's in Cleveland.
Ooh, we should try and go
Not
to
too
that.
far. Might be a little
We should
road
try and
trip
go
for
to
the
that.
Might
boys.
be a little road trip
Little
there.
road trip
We
for the
should try and go to
boys.
that. Oh, that'd be fun. All right, moving
All
on.
right, final division here. We got the NFC West. This is obviously the best division in the NFC. So we'll start at the bottom. We got the Seahawks. This to me is like right there. I mean, not as bad as the Falcons, but I mean,
So
is
they're
it-
obviously
is
going to draft a QB, but who's their rostered starting quarterback right now?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Oof.
Yeah, and
Maybe under.
yeah, it's at 6 wins.
I mean, if none of those guys are NFL ready and you have Drew Lock at the helm, I mean, no.
I can't
Yeah.
believe Pete Carroll hasn't
thanks.
retired yet. Like, I can't believe they haven't traded DK and Pete Carroll's retired. Like,
And if
this
Baker
is-
goes here, that just makes your bet that much more valuable.
six is way too many.
I think Baker's gonna do really well wherever he goes. He's gonna be like, he plays so much better when he's insulted.
I hope he goes.
Whenever you like poke fun at Baker, it makes him really angry, and like
Yeah,
when
because
he
that
plays
really
the best.
worked with Cleveland when people poked him every week and he just was throwing ducks just every week.
He had a torn labrum.
And he still chose to go out there and play angry. And that's exactly what he did. So
I think that was his
I'll
coach's
poke
fault.
him the rest of his career because that dude needs to go to the USFL or whatever that new league that just started.
I would still take Baker over like half the QBs in the league.
Good for you.
Yeah, this is an under, no doubt.
What do you want, Darnold? Josh Rosen?
Oh,
Who else was in that draft class?
But yeah. So we're all on the under here. This team is, and they have a very hard schedule, by the way.
Garbage.
They play, but well, obviously they play everyone in their division. They play the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Saints, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Cardinals. Or the Cardinals are in the division. Like
You haven't named
Play
a
the
bad
Broncos.
team. You just
Yeah,
named like all the playoff teams.
they play. Their schedule is very, very hard.
Oh, I can't wait for a Russ revenge game. He's gonna throw for 800 yards,
Yeah.
dude.
I can't wait to play him in DFS that week.
Yeah. Obviously, Billy Maker revenge tour.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right. So that was now we got the 3 good teams here. So we'll go with the Cardinals next. Their win total is at 9.
9 flat.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, trouble in paradise.
What do you think, Nick?
I mean, they did that undefeated last year, I'm pretty sure.
Started out very hot.
But they lost
Very
Christian Kirk.
hot.
They
AJ Green, Chandler Jones, Jordan Phillips, Jordan Hicks, Malcolm Butler, and Robert Alford.
lost a lot of people. So DeAndre Hopkins is a year older and a year slower.
Yeah.
I don't love it. They don't have any good running backs anymore. I mean, Kyler Murray's awesome, but poor guy, he's got no one around him. Rondale Moore is like wide receiver. He's going to be like the most consistent wide receiver on that team, probably. Just assuming Hopkins is hurt for half the year like he usually is. And their defense got significantly worse. So I'll take the under here.
Now
Yeah, any other division in the NFC, like no question, this is an over bet for me, but not in the NFC best.
I don't like their coach either, Kingsbury.
yeah, he's kind of one of those fake like sharps, like not good, but for some reason a lot of people think
Some
he's good.
people like think
He needs
he's
to
really
figure
good,
out
but
how to not use all of his plays in the first 6 games of the season. Like Andy Reid had to figure it out. Like
he just doesn't make smart decisions often. Kyler Murray seems to, I don't know, like not being a good lead. I like Kyler personally, like his talent, but he seems to shift blame. I've noticed, like,
yeah,
to people.
I would agree with
a little
that.
immature. I mean, he's probably only what, 24, 25.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be great.
He'll
Like,
grow up.
I think he's very good. I think I love Kyler Murray, and I like last year I liked the over, but this is another like strength of schedule thing. I mean, we talked about the Seahawks. They have pretty much the exact same schedule. So they play the 49ers and the Rams twice a year. They play the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Saints, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Patriots, Philly, Minnesota, all teams that like have like predicted to have winning records. And so for that reason, after and losing a lot of these key defensive pieces, some guys on offense, I gotta lean under here. Not a bet at all. I avoid completely because I still believe in Kyler Murray, but this is definitely a lean to the under for me. So we're all on the under there.
Yeah.
And now we got the 49ers next. And I believe theirs is sitting at 10.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got the 49ers sitting at 10.
Have they haven't leaned one way or the other with Lance and Jimmy G, right?
It's still, I'm assuming it's got to be Lance. Like, I still think Jimmy G is going somewhere.
Yeah. This late, probably after the
Yeah.
draft.
I
type
think
of
you could,
deal.
yeah, like after seeing how things shake out. Yeah.
Maybe to like the Panthers or something.
What do you got against Jimmy G? Let's get this out on the table now because I'm getting kind of tired of you hating on him.
Me hating on him, I'm just not. He doesn't have
I'm gonna protect my Italian brother here, Jimmy G.
I can't. I've realized it's gotten darker and darker. Oh.
Look at he's running away. He can't.
No,
he can't face.
I had
the
to get
music.
brighter, so I get no. So Jimmy G just
Put me in the
doesn't have
spotlight.
what it
Hey,
takes.
oh.
Jimmy G doesn't have what it takes to win a Super Bowl. He's gotten his team there, and I get that. Largely a part of the system that Shanahan runs.
One throw away. One throw.
Listen,
Always one throw away.
His
From
career
He's
is
scared.
completely
Nick-
different if he makes one throw.
Nick's over here telling me why I'm hating on him, and then he just says he's always one throw away. Yeah, exactly. He's never going to get it done. He's not going to ever win a Super Bowl. For that reason, I wouldn't want him on my team. I want players
I would rather have him than Jameis Winston.
All right, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Okay, well,
We're not
then
doing
you
this.
go ahead.
We can
and
do this
think that
offline.
way. Yeah,
Like I get what you're saying. Like
don't talk about
maybe he's
Jameis
not-
Winston. Talk about Trey Lance because that's who is playing ahead of him.
We don't know that. You were saying this last year too, and it never.
No,
came to
last
fruition.
year. Well, because he's like one of those quarterbacks like Malik Willis has a lot of upside, but he sits behind. They were high on him. Like they moved up to take him very high. So that's why I thought he was going to start. But besides that, they ended up developing him. Now he's going to be the quarterback, I believe. Like I just don't see at this point why he wouldn't be. This is a guy could be just, end up being a bust. Personally, I don't think he is. I think he has incredible upside. I think this guy is
I think he's
very
going to be
good.
fun to watch, whether he's good or not. I mean, he's
Yeah,
got the talent for sure.
And just to think, they still have their win total sitting at 10 with the likelihood in that division with Lance likely starting. So that just shows you what Vegas thinks of Lance. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Are you leaning under or over here?
I mean, I like the over because
So you
think
have
they're
to be a
good.
Trey Lance guy. If you take the over at 10 wins.
I think with either quarterback, I think they could still get 11 wins
Okay.
pretty easily. Comparatively to the other teams in the NFC, I think they're one of the best.
Yeah.
Especially with the Packers getting worse. Like, I think they're up there for like maybe second best team, maybe third.
And Alex, are you on board or are you not a Lance believer yet?
No, I think Trey Lance is going to be a guy. I just don't know if it's going to be next year or 11 wins next year of a guy. That's where because their schedule is tough, man.
Yeah.
Like we were saying with the other teams in this division, that's a tough schedule on top of being in the best division in this conference.
I almost wonder though, like I think they're going to keep Jimmy G until they're ready to commit to a rebuild, and they're still in win now mode because you get a 35-year-old Jimmy G, still get some value, just kind of like the Matt Ryan trade, and then you are able to turn on Trey Lance with this new younger regime. So I don't think it's this year. How many years did Rodgers sit for?
Like 3, 4, but that's behind a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's a little different. I'm going to go. The 49ers have been good to me. I'm going to go with the over. I think it's going to be close.
As long as your boy Debo comes back, what's he causing all that drama for?
Well, all these like guys that are a year away from a new contract are looking to
Yeah.
get signed when they see Tyreek and Devontae getting 80 mil and 20
He's making
guaranteed.
like $2 million right now.
Oh, I mean the rookie contracts after the new
Yeah.
CBA like completely screwed players over because they got like backlash from the previous CBA, which players got well overcompensated for. So they had to like swing it back the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Like he could get injured like 3 games in and completely, not completely because he's still a stud, but,
Especially
like,
because they use
lose
him
a
like
ton
a
of
running
value.
back.
Yeah, right. He touches the ball 15 times a game. Like, yeah, I mean, all those guys, AJ Brown, Debo, there's a Terry, like all those guys that are a year away are looking to get broken off. So
I'm on the over. I mean, I can't be a Trey Lance guy and then take the under on this. So yeah, this is an easy over. He's better than Jimmy G, my opinion, and he has way more upside. Like Lance is the type of guy, like when you're talking upside, he's got upside of like people like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like that's his ceiling. And I think his floor, I still think he's better than Jimmy G as floor, but you know, that's where I'm thinking here. I'm thinking the over with the 49ers. And then we have the last team. We have the Rams at 10.5. So only a half game more than the 49ers. Former Super Bowl champion. They did lose a lot of pieces, but they did gain.
they added a ton too.
They
I love the over 10.5. 10.5.
Who did they lose and gain? Fill me in.
So well, the gains are Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. I don't know anyone else besides those two.
Two big pieces. Older
Yeah.
guys, but good pieces.
Mm-hmm. Lost Robert
Losses,
Woods.
Robert Woods. Odell is still obviously unknown. They lost their tackle, Andrew Whitworth. They lost their guard, Austin Corbett. They lost Von Miller. They lost their defensive tackle, Joseph Day. And they lost their corner, Darius Williams, and their punter. So,
Not
I mean,
the punter.
obviously that one doesn't matter as much, but I would say notable ones, Robert Woods, possibly Odell, Andrew Whitworth, Corbett, Von Miller, and Darius Williams. Those are notable.
I'll take the over.
You still on the over?
Yeah.
I would say they have probably the hardest schedule in the entire league. Do you want to hear their schedule?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They do have a tough one.
They play the Cardinals and the 49ers twice. Play the Raiders, the Broncos, the Saints, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Buffalo, Dallas, and Green Bay.
They don't play a bad team.
Oh, those are the only bad teams they play are obviously they play Seattle twice, and then they play Atlanta and Carolina. But those are the only four. They play the same bad team twice, and then Carolina and Atlanta are the only other two bad teams. Every other team has like win totals of close to 10 or higher. Yeah,
I think they sneak 11 wins.
I'm leaning under here. I think they finish right at 10 wins. That's personally.
You should take the Niners plus 185 to win the division then.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's good money right now.
Because I think they have the easiest of the hard schedules in that division. And yeah, I like the 49ers a lot, especially with Lance in there. So I like that. So
do you know what I think is more likely than Trey Lance coming out this year? Is you converting from a Saints fan to a 49ers fan.
That will
You've
never
been on the
happen.
Trey Lance train way too long. You're wearing
way
all
too
red
long.
today.
He's been in the league a year.
All red on. I know it's coming. The Saints are going to fade.
Because that happened with Joe Burrow. I was just as high on Joe Burrow.
Lance.
I was just as high on Joe Burrow.
I'm just glad we got it recorded now so we could look back and say, all right, Nick called this back April 11th, 2022.
Forget it. We're going off the rails at the end here. That wraps up the NFC episode of Chalk Talks win totals. And we'll be back with Corey next time to go over the AFC. A lot better teams than that over there. So that'll be a lot more difficult, I think, to pick the unders. But that'll do it for this episode, and we'll see you next time.